What up, survivors? Welcome to D180, the horror movie podcast, taking you on a ride. Thanks for linking up with us. I'm AJ.
And I'm Jonne.
I said this last week, but I'm dead that August is for real coming to a close. The A.B.C party was fun, but it is over.
Whoop whoop.
You know what? I had to be real for a second. This movie kind of gave me flashbacks to the end of the semester.
Oh, I was like, flashbacks to what?
Because I wasn't the type, okay, like I told y'all last week, freshman year, I was never in a rush to go home. And I don't recall how the end of freshman semester went. But I do know that my sophomore year and my junior year, I had like late finals. And I was like one of the last people on campus. So definitely could relate to the whole setting of this movie.
I was always one of the last people on campus because we had December and spring graduations and I was in the band. So I could not leave until after graduation anyway. So most people had already gone home because they took their last final exam and they pieced out. I, however, cannot leave because I had to play at graduation.
Right. Oh no, I'm glad they didn't make us dance or anything. Wasn't nobody looking for us. Like, you know how they make the cheerleaders just come do extra things. They did not. Leave it to the games and that's it, sis. And I'm just playing. We had some appearances, but that wasn't a part of it. But if you guys haven't caught on, or if you just didn't look at the title and you just want to hear us because you like us, on today's show, we're going to be wrapping up Anything But College with 1981's Final Exam, a movie about a killer bodying students on the last week of class. Like, what the heck? You got finals. You trying to figure out your situation for going home, especially if you like a sophomore, because you know your parents ain't coming to get you. You know you got to ride back with somebody. I mean, well, no, if it's finals, they might come get you. If it's Christmas break, you ride back with somebody. But you know what?
Yeah, Christmas break, I either rode back or I flew. By the time, actually, I drove back. Like after, when we went back for spring semester, I drove my car back. So after that, it was just up to me. But my freshman year, I flew back, and the beginning of sophomore year, I flew back.
I didn't get a car till junior year, and it was obviously like my mom's 2001 RAV4, and I was very offended by Kanye saying he worked too hard to push a RAV4. Bitch, me too. Anyway, so just my junior and senior year, I had a car, so I was driving myself at that point. But no, my senior year, obviously, that's when I was done. So everybody came, and we had like a truck or whatever, but it was what it was. But my exam senior year, first of all, I can't remember. Okay, junior year, I only had classes on Tuesday and Thursday. I did not have class Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or no, I had classes, but they were all dance classes. So that's not class for me. That's playtime. So on Tuesday and Thursday was my only classes. So I think that was spring semester. So that was easy peasy. And then my I can't remember which part of my senior year, but I still had a lot of dance classes, and just electives. I was trying to say class and electives together, but I had a lot of those left. So I just took in my senior year and I was just cruising.
Girl, I did not have the luxury at all. At all. I think I mentioned this before, but I was a civil engineering technology major. There was no room, and I was in honors college.
No.
Like there was no room for me to cruise my senior year. Like, oh man. And then it was like, if say for instance, I messed up with the curriculum, because I did mess up with the curriculum, and I had to take a class that I thought that I didn't have to take.
That's the worst.
Oh man, my senior year was stressful, especially trying to figure out because everybody else had their plans about what they were going to do after graduation. Here I am, last minute applying for grad school. Didn't go back to grad school at the time, but yeah, last minute applying for grad school because I found out that I didn't get the dream job that I wanted. Girl, it was my senior year, that spring semester was a whole mess.
It was unnecessary anxiety because the thing is, nobody tells you that you can just take your time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they always make it seem like this step after this step, then this step, then this step, when you can really, for real, take your time to figure things out.
But
And it does
see,
look different when you have people around you that's like, it looked like they have it figured out. But we don't be knowing the whole story.
but see, not only that though, I didn't feel like I could take my time because I had my family pressure me like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like when I graduated college, I had no plan. I couldn't find a job. So I went to bartending school and I ended up bartending up until like November of the year that we graduated college. So, and they were like not happy with the fact that I was doing that. And I'm like, well, I can't find a job. Then I found
Right,
out
what you want me to
that
do?
I could, right. Then I found out that I couldn't get the type of engineering job that I wanted here in Maryland because I couldn't get this engineering and training certificate because lo and behold, I didn't take enough math and science classes. So the following summer, I had to go back to like a community college to take the necessary classes that I needed to get the certification. Well, at least be eligible to take the test for the certification. Still didn't work out. So that's why I'm not in that type of engineering field now. But like, no, it was not a cakewalk. I did not have the time. Like, I was getting pressured all the way around.
You ain't have it like our girl Lisa in the
Nope,
movie.
not at all.
Mm-mm.
No, I wish I had it like Lisa,
Oh my gosh.
but not
Okay. Look,
really.
y'all. No, yeah, okay. It's some parts. I'm just like, I'm with you when you write, but then on the other side, I don't know, sis. At the moment of this recording, Final Exam is streaming on Tubi for the free if you want to watch it before we get into it. There are some other services it's on as well, but you'll have to rent it. So if you want it for the free, go to Tubi. And now, park recommendations. I actually got two this week.
What?
I know, I'm back to my old self. So if you was feeling this movie, then definitely check out 1981's Student Bodies. It's a horror comedy movie. Well, I don't know for sure, but apparently this is the first horror comedy of its kind. And obviously, since it came out in 1981, you probably already kind of know what to expect, but it's a good time. And then, okay, look, this park recommendation came out the woodwork, y'all. And Jonne, you've seen this movie. I think if you like this movie, I think this one gels well with H2O in 1998. Halloween H2O.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You said you haven't?
No, I said, oh yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, I was like,
You know, I've seen that one.
wait a
Now I
minute.
haven't seen all of the Halloween movies because even though I love Michael, I feel the same way how I say all the time about franchises. So at a certain point, I stopped. Now I
I'm
will go
still gonna
back.
stand on the hill. It's like, okay, y'all know me, I'm always like changing my mind, but I always be having points too. The thing with the Halloween franchise is you can really just for real choose your own franchise. Like,
Exactly.
do you want the Rob Zombie Halloween? Do you want the John Carpenter standard? Do you just want to go from 1978 all the way to 2018? Like, you can just do what you want. Like, do you
Right.
just want to watch the best one in the franchise? That's Halloween 3. Like, first of all, people are yelling at me right now, and I know they are shocked that I just said what I said. I don't know if you've seen 3 yet, but Jesus, there are people probably ready to fight me right now. But I said what I said. Fight me, honey. You can fight me on our Twitter or just keep it on mute, okay? Since I'm being violent, I like to go ahead and take this time to administer a little trigger warning. This movie does involve gun violence that might make a lot of people uncomfortable, especially if you're watching this movie for the first time. If you've seen the movie, you already know what I'm talking about, and we will get there when we get there.
Child.
Speaking of the first time I saw this, it was like a couple of years ago, and it was on Prime actually. And I just watched it. You know me, I will just get in the mood where I'm like, okay, Ashley, we can't be just watching Child's Play and all of my other favorite movies that I'll just turn on quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I just went scrolling on Amazon, seen the cover. I was like, okay, looks like a slasher. It's the 80s. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. And I'll let y'all know how I feel later. And obviously, by proxy, Jonne found this because of Me.
I'll let y'all know if I hate her or not at the end.
I feel like I don't know. Sometimes you be playing because I be trying to read your voice, and you be like, I liked it, and then it'll be other times like I'm trying to read your voice, you be like, no, 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 no. But all
I
right,
mean,
y'all.
you gotta
So
build the suspense. I can't be giving it away all the time.
you know what? I appreciate that about you. Going back to July, y'all. So if y'all was around when we had Camp 180, kudos to you. But if you wasn't, go ahead, go back, listen to them episodes. We took a trip to Camp Crystal Lake, and I gave a very detailed history of how all of this came about. Like low-key, the slasher craze. Like Halloween, yes, was first. Even Black Christmas, I've said all of this, but y'all know Friday the 13th just really came and just fucked everybody's ish up. Okay, you know? But also keep in mind when Halloween came out, speaking of, movie tickets were like less than $3, okay? So when Halloween made about like 70 million worldwide, that's good for a movie, but we also have to remember the price of tickets. Then here comes Friday the 13th, making 59.8 million worldwide. And that just solidified the fact that this formula that they have with these slashers works. And now comes the imitators, motion picture marketing, which is over this movie. They took the bait and they was like, look, we're gonna make this movie right. 3 conditions. It gotta be cheap, it has to be derivative, and we gotta do this quick, fast, and in a hurry. And Jonne, when I tell you they were not playing, girl, Friday the 13th dropped on May 9th, 1980. Why did this movie go into pre-production May 25th, 1980?
What?
It wasn't even a month later. Like not even a month later. They tried to have it have a small release. Well, not a small release. They tried to have it released in January. No, they tried to have it. Yeah, they tried to have it released in January, but that didn't work. So it got pushed back. But the pushback wasn't real crazy. It just got pushed back to February 27th, same year. But they weren't able to get the release they wanted. So it was just a little small release. But then on June 5th was when, movie had its actual release. So it was still literally a year and a month later that this movie came out because of Friday the 13th.
Well, I have some feelings about that, but I will keep them.
Think about when we did Hell Night earlier this month. That was 1981 too. Student Bodies, the movie I just recommended to you, was 1981. Like these directors was like, it's like TikTok trends. Like, you got to hop on these trends fast as hell before it pass. And
right. And then this movie was shot in 6 weeks.
Listen, first of all, I have things to say because what was going on? Okay, let's start with this. When they was coming up with the name, I can't remember if it was the director or if it was somebody else, but they was like, let's call it Final Exam. And everybody liked it. They was like, okay, that's cute. But then Myron Mizell, the producer, he didn't like it. And then guess what movie came out the same year? And he was like, we should have named it that.
What?
It was Hell Night.
But
right.
It doesn't correlate.
It doesn't. I'm like, why? Okay, I get it. Like that was like one crazy ass night, but I don't think so. I like Final Exam.
Yeah.
Mizell, he had a lot of issues with a lot of the shooting and things that was going on. But the film also had the power of the writer's strike on their side. So there was no competition for them to worry about. Like no movies was about to be coming out at the time. So they like, all right, that's why we got to put this out quick, fast, and in a hurry. And that's really, I think, and we'll find out as we get into them. But I think a lot of those other movies was like, yeah, we got to hurry up because ain't nobody, the ball players that's swinging these heavy hitters, they ain't out right now. They is on the bench. Let's get our money right now. So they opted out of gore for this movie also. First, rewind. Why did they try to send this movie in to get a PG-13 rating? PG-13 wasn't a thing yet, but they were trying to like get like a, let me tell you something. They was like, okay, we're going to substitute a lot of things out. We're not going to be too bloody. The blood, is kind of like, first of all, when homegirl gets killed, and we'll talk about it, but that blood looked like grape jelly, strawberry jelly. I was like,
it's like y'all know how I feel about blood, and I be saying it all the time that the blood be looking like paint.
Well, I mean, like some movies, that's the style. Like Bones was supposed to be like an homage to Italian horror. So Being is like different because Italian horror, that's just what they do. It's gonna look like. I can't wait until we get to like some Giallo or Dario Argento, and you can see like how it's done in that one. But obviously, yes, that's different. But here, I'm like, you know what? Danielle was like, let's just go ahead and substitute this with nudity. And I mean, it's very brief. Like the nudity ain't even like crazy in this film,
Yeah,
but
it's not
still,
anything crazy.
yeah. And they was like, well, that's going to get the guys into the theater. So let's do that. And then another thing we're going to do is we're going to hire a whole bunch of people that nobody knows to be in this movie. And I mean, plus side, once again, that these were actually young adults and the staff were actually like of age. So, you know, that worked out. Like I said, with everybody being a first timer, everybody on their contracts was booked for a 3 movie deal if this movie did well. But I was also thinking, like, with the way the movie ended, did they mean like a trilogy or did they just mean like 3 movies from that company?
I don't know because that don't make sense
Right.
at all.
So, getting to what you were mentioning earlier with the 6 weeks to film, girl, the first 4 days of filming, child, why they spend the first 4 days filming that scene between Courtney and Lisa in the dorm when she's like trying to get those boys to come carry her stuff?
The ghetto.
They spent 4 days filming that.
And then had the audacity to only have 2 minutes of film to use after 4 days.
What?
Girl, listen, the next day, still chaos. So the producers, they snatched up Jimmy, which is the director, Jimmy Huston. And he was like, yeah, don't you think this atmosphere is just good, right? And they was like, no, you need to wrap it up,
Then.
keep it moving. You need to do something because this is moving real slow. So more chaos would ensue after it was requested that Jack Daniels be the preferred choice of one of the characters, Dr. Reynolds. And at first, you know, they was just trying to get some sponsorship. Turns out Jack Daniels, you know, gave him the sponsorship, had all this Jack Daniels lying around the set. And you got a bunch of inexperienced people that this their first time they excited to stay in the movie. Girl, it was not it. They was getting lit on that set. And then,
Wow.
like, even when they weren't filming, they were like partying. They would come to the set the next day, like looking hungover. And then Myron, again, the producer Myron, he looked at the work, like, you know how you view the shots, like, before it goes out. And he said,
Right.
what the hell is this? So he pulled all of them in a room and he said, look at this. Y'all think this cute? This is on camera. This is forever. Like, this ain't cute. Like, y'all need to get it together. Whatever y'all gonna do by the time y'all get on this set, y'all need to have it together, okay? Period.
Jeez.
He was over everybody's stuff. And then a
I'd
lot of
be
the
over
extras.
everybody too. Y'all wasting my money.
Right. A lot of the extras were crewmates and college students, like literal crewmates. Like one dude that I saw in particular in the credits, his name is Gene Poole. Get it?
Oh my God.
But yeah, he's like one of the cafeteria staff, but he's also like one of the dolly grips. Like they were literally like, when they said budget, they said budget, okay? But even, oh my God, Jonne, girl, let me tell you about the killer. The killer, oh God. They spent so much time. I got 2 things to say. They spent so much time on the beginning of the movie. By the time it came to the killer and Courtney's showdown at the end, they had to rush filming it. And they knew what they wanted to do with the ending, but still shooting it was crazy because they literally had no time to really get it in. You know what I mean?
Girl, the end of the movie. I'll save my comments.
So, you know, I was telling you, they was trying to get this film to be rated PG. Girl, they turned that film in to the MPAA, and guess what they got when it came back?
And next.
A fat ass X. And then the reason was because the very end, when Courtney is stabbing the killer, like aka the pillow, to be specific, she stabbed him. Listen, y'all be alright. Anyway, in the original cut, she stabbed him 18 times and it got cut down to 12. But I was just like, we don't even see nothing but bloody hands.
Right. And her just putting the knife up and down. That's
That's
all you
literally
see.
it. Throughout this movie, when we get there, survivors, I'm going to be telling you about some crazy shit that was going on that set. I like how I bleeped out one cuss word but didn't bleep out the other one. It was very classy of me. But anyway, uh, when it came to having a stunt coordinator for these kills, for all the stuff that's happening in this movie, once again, keyword budget. So they had Timothy L. Rayner, better known as the killer of the movie, be the stunt coordinator, only because he was like skilled. Like, I can't remember exactly which one of martial arts he was in, like that he's very skilled in. But since he was very skilled, they was just like, oh, you could be the stunt coordinator too. This nigga was not qualified.
Not qualified.
I have stories, but I will save the stories for the review. This cast of unknown, we have Cecile Baghdadi as Courtney, Joelle S. Rice as Radish, who guys, oh my god, when this movie came out, guess who seen the movie and was like, this is cute? Wes Craven and Kelvin Williamson, and they was like, you know what? We especially like Radish, and Radish ends up being the template for Randy from Scream, and even more cuteness. Oh my god. If you guys know, in the second movie, and spoiler alert if you haven't seen Scream 2, so oh my god, I can't, oh Jesus, no. Because there are people that really have not seen any of the Scream movies, and I'm just like, how? But anyway, fast forward like 30 seconds. So anyway, in Scream 2, before Randy is about to die, he even drops like Radish, name drops Radish from Final Exam, and even the movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, it's so cute. Anyway, we have Ralph Brown as Wildman Chambers, Deanna Robinson as Lisa, Sherry Willis Birch as Janet, John Fallon as Mark, Terry W. Farron as Gary, Timothy L. Rayner, who I mentioned earlier, as the killer. And then, you know what? Don Hepner as Dr. Charlie Reynolds. And then, first of all, I really like how our two people in the beginning don't have names, just boy and girl in car. That's it.
I mean, hey.
Right. And I like, you know me, I'm always searching, even though I know last week I was not with the names. Like, nobody's name was anybody's name. But usually I'm always on it with the names. But I was like, oh, they really don't have no names. Okay, cool. That's fine.
So Cecile, right? She was
Right.
required to give a realistic scream for her audition,
Mm-hmm.
but because they were so convincing, she got the role of Courtney, but then her screams were dubbed for another actress.
Like in a different movie?
No, the same movie.
Why?
Because I guess her screams were superior than the actress.
But also Deanna Robbins that plays Lisa. Did you hear about her audition?
No.
So really, and it's not really her audition, it was the requirements for her character. They said her character, you had to know how to play piano and be willing to get naked because, you know, like the little nude scene she has.
Right.
And so they were having problems, like either they were finding girls that could play the piano really well and they didn't want to get naked, or they had girls that were willing to get naked but couldn't like play the piano. But then here comes Deanna, and yeah, she got it.
But also, I don't like this um for Timothy, the killer. He actually was running around with a real butcher knife.
And I knew I wasn't tripping because I was looking at that knife, and even when you hear it like hit the ground, and you know, like sometimes in movies they switch out stuff, like in Friday the 13th when Jason swings the axe to hit Marnie, what, I can't, Maggie, I can't remember her name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Homegirl, who I be saying is like Joan. But when he swings the axe to hit her and it hits the light and you hear how hard it is, it's to let us know that it's real. But obviously they switch it out for the, you know, prop makeup and all of that. But in here, I'm like,
Yep. The director was so impressed with his martial arts skills and his ability to handle a weapon that he's like, here, just have a real knife. Don't worry
yes.
about a prop. Here you go. What?
When I say that Jimmy Huston was on one, I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna be pointing it out during this movie. He was really on one, like with a lot of stuff. He was putting lives on the line. Okay.
Fuck it, I'm on one.
See. No, ma'am. You ready to bounce out to the queue line?
Yeah, let's go.
Howdy, survivors. Please keep your tips and limbs inside the vehicle and remain seated at all times. Hang on to your personal belongings, especially your minds and spines. 'Cause this here's a wild ride.
Jonne, I hope that you didn't think that I would let the month end without giving you a final exam.
What? I thought I left grad school in December 2020. What is this?
Oh no, honey child. But I made it easy. This is going to be an exam over the movies that we have covered this month.
Oh God.
And it's 13 questions. And you know what? Just like the movie says, some will pass the test. May God help the rest. Our survivors, if you want to take the quiz along with Jonne, you can let us know your results over on our Twitter. But I think this is a really good quiz. Like, I think I did a good job. I think I add a nice little blend of questions, and you just have to think. Now, the first three you probably gonna be pissed at me about, but I just couldn't help myself, and it's okay. You ready?
Sure.
What was the name of the sorority in Sorority Row?
Theta Pi.
Good job. See, take a breath.
I had to sing the song in my head. Oh my God.
What is the name of the fraternity in Hell Night?
And I said it, and I had literally just listened to this episode the other day. Alpha Sigma Rho.
Good job. See, oh my God. 2 out of 13. What is the name of the fraternity house our characters party at in Soul Survivors?
I don't know. I can look at that house.
The name of it is Omega Pi Epsilon.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at that.
Number 4. What movie is the 2009 remake Sorority Row based on?
Isn't it Summer Party Massacre?
It is not Summer Party.
Wait, no, not Summer Party Massacre. It's Last House on Sorority something. Last House something. I don't know.
Girl,
it's something with sorority in it. It's something. I just saw it too on my Amazon Prime list.
It's The House on Sorority Row.
So, see, it was something with a house and sorority.
The house on the left was Sorority Row.
Oh, no.
The last house. I want to see that movie. Like, no, like for real, like, you know, that will be a movie. I'm just saying, like, if you've ever seen Last House on the Left, especially their original, I'll be telling y'all that Wes Craven, this is why other directors can't do what they want to do, because Wes Craven just effing ran with it and did the most. And the MPAA was like, you know what? No. No, nobody, no, we're not doing this anymore. Messed it up for everybody. Like, I'm very grateful for Wes Craven. Okay. How many girls served as the main Theta Pi sisters in Sorority Row?
Are we counting from like the beginning?
We can take Meg out.
4, 5.
There you go. I was like, wait a minute.
Because you know, let me be completely honest. I will watch a movie, and then after I watch the movie, it's gone.
I feel it. I know what you mean. But I had to do it. I couldn't help myself. Like, I was really just about to just pull up a quiz, and I was like, I'm gonna make my own, because I've just been doing my own thing lately, so might as well. Number 6. In Hell Night, what is the task that the pledges are given?
Now they gotta stay the night in that crazy ass mansion.
We're not thrilled about that. Good job. What year did Father Jude pass away in Soul Survivors?
In the 80s.
What's the year?
Some 1980, 1981. I don't know. It was something in the 80s.
I need a final answer.
Let's go with 1980, I guess.
It's 1981.
It was one of the two.
Should have trusted yourself. Trust yourself, young grasshopper. Number 8. Where is the college in Soul Survivors located?
You said Soul Survivor? Where's the college located?
Mm-hmm. I had a whole
Is it
rant
in Massachusetts?
No. I had a whole rant about...
Oh, it's in Illinois. It was in Massachusetts. Maybe because they kept bringing up freaking Harvard.
When is Massachusetts next to Gary?
Because they kept bringing up Harvard.
Girl, no. Or Howard, if you ask me.
They kept bringing up Harvard. So Massachusetts was in my head somewhere. Because I know they shot it in Indiana. Yes. But I didn't know. Because, sometimes they shoot stuff in locations, but it'd be like a imaginary city and state.
Yeah, right.
No, so I just thought it was Massachusetts.
Young Chicago, the Chi-Town. Number 9, in Sorority Row, there's an object that comes from the original movie that appears in this movie. What is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Cody's yelling at you right now. You know he is.
I still haven't watched the original movie, so I have no clue.
The object is the cane that Cassidy grabs to go save Ellie. The cane belongs to the housekeeper from the original movie.
Got it.
Number 10, we're almost there. What is the object used by the killer in Sorority Row?
It's a tricked out tire iron.
It sure is. See, good job. How many children did Raymond Garth have?
4.
Good job.
Because I'm still mad about the extra person who was supposed to be another killer. I'm still confused about that. He killed 3 out of the 4 children, so why was there 2 people running around killing people?
Somebody got resurrected. Somebody wasn't dead all the way.
I am just confused.
What was Denise's drug of choice in Hell Night?
She had a bunch of them.
The drugs?
Yeah, before they were confiscated.
What drugs does she have in the house?
Oh, Quaaludes. Because she said she had Colombian. I'm still trying to figure out what is Colombian. She
Jonne.
Also had something else. Oh, Coke.
Yes. I'm like, girl, what? It's the coca, it's the white. 13 is your last.
She had something else too. But she had a lot of drugs.
She had a lot.
It was a walking party in a skirt.
Okay, she was laced up. Okay. Your last question: what animal does Casey bring along to college with her? Or stuffed animal? There you go. So
the dinosaur.
Good job. See. You really only got 4 wrong. Would have been 5, but it was one of them. I was just like, technically, whatever is fine. So yeah, you only got 4 wrong. Got a 13. That's not bad. See? Like I said, survivors, if you took the test along with Jonne, let us know what your results were, because I'm just curious if y'all be paying attention, or do y'all really be watching these movies with us like we do when we bring you this content?
Lord, because it's crazy, because Ashley was like running down all these facts, these movies, and like references and stuff, and it'll take me a minute to catch what movie she's referencing. Because when I tell you, a lot of the times, if I watch a movie once or twice, I don't remember it. But if I've watched a movie a million times, like Grease, Mean Girls, Scream, I remember those. So that's what she was. What she's telling me is clear. I'm like, what? And when she gets references and I don't respond, it's probably because I don't remember the movie.
Right. Or like, because now you know who I'm referencing when I be like, the killer. I thought you were the killer.
Now I know.
Yeah, that's why I was like, now you know who I'm talking about. But even then, I don't know, because SpongeBob, I'm the same way with SpongeBob too. I will reference SpongeBob all dang day. And you know what? I just want to point out, Gen Z, I'm talking to you. Y'all try to make, because I'm like a millennial, but I'm also a zillennial just because of the way I grew up. But y'all be trying to make us feel bad and saying that we make pizza and bacon a personality trait. Y'all make SpongeBob a personality trait. Like, for real. And it's kind of it ain't nothing wrong with it, but y'all do that. Like, so don't be acting like I'm gonna just leave it there.
Yeah.
So all right, I'm gonna stop being mean. Y'all can stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to be talking 1981's final exam.
At Lanier College, they have the finest security, the best teacher-student relations, no fraternity hazing, strictly enforced curfews.
Shh. What was that?
And a killer. He's come back. Final exam.
When are you going to realize that the whole world isn't made of psychopaths?
There's a murderer around campus killing people.
Some may pass the test. Lisa! God help the rest.
Courtney! It's me, Radish! Let me in! Courtney!
Final exam. He's come back.
I saw this trailer in two different instances. When I watched it for the podcast, I watched it like it was one of like the Shout Factory, Screen Factory, whatever. It was that one. And it's a lot darker. And in my opinion, we talked about this like in Sleepaway Camp or like in different, older movies, that the quality of the film gives it a whole different feel. So like when we get updated, remastered versions, it kind of takes away from that, because you know what I'm saying?
I don't really like the remastered, updated trailer versions.
Yeah, because I don't know, like for some reason it being that dark and you really can't see what's going on did add to it.
This joint is literally just the second half of the movie spliced together.
They said we ain't got time. That's all you need to know.
Only showed the best parts of the movie, to be quite honest.
They did. Because see, in the one I watched, I'm trying to recall, you see some things, like you see kind of what happens to Radish. You see Courtney running around screaming. I think you see Janet get grabbed. I think you see Gary tied to the tree. I think you see different things. I can't really recall if they was like showing stuff, but I think also because of the quality of the one that I watched that was on that Shout Factory version, I think that's what changed it for me. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's long, but it's cool.
Yeah, the trailer was only 1 minute and 22 seconds, and it just shows splices of all the kills.
People probably be looking at us like, well, what else is the trailer supposed to show? Not all the kills.
Not all the kills, maybe
Right.
some suspense. Like, they show Homegirl getting snatched up. That was technically her kill, but I mean,
Right.
At least she was just snatched up. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm dying on screen. But I don't know. You can make trailers in such a way where you don't have to show people getting killed. Like, you can show them like getting snatched up or something, or like jump scares that they endure in the movie. Anything else but the actual deaths, because now I'm going to be looking for when that person died.
Or even like misleading. Like, I like when trailers mislead you. Like, they'll cut something a certain way. Okay, this is a bad example, but remember when we did Stepfather and Amber Heard's like lying on the ground. We thought that like chainsaw was gonna come in her face, and it doesn't happen. Spoiler alert. But mislead me, because now we were sitting there thinking that was about to happen, and it didn't happen. But
this trailer definitely misled me because it made me think that this movie was all about action.
Oh, okay. I guess with that we will get into the wow. She said, enough talking, be about that action. Where are the hands? Put them up. Late at night, two college students are making out, or trying to, in a parked convertible. First of all, the boy, he said, girl, I don't care what you're talking about. I know you talking about you don't want to do this and this is uncomfortable, but girl, if you don't shut up and just come on. Like, he is just like, I
hate niggas like that.
Okay. And then, first of all, she's like, do you love me? And he just paused. I said, girl, you should have got out.
He made a whole face.
You should have got out. Why do y'all do this? Like, okay, now let's not stunt, because we were younger and stupid, but we know better now. But why do y'all do that? Like, soon as he would have like pulled away and made that little face, I would have been like, oh, okay, car door.
See, the funny thing about it is she didn't see that face. If she saw that face, she'd have been hurt.
Something. And then she just gonna jump in the back seat. I'm like, girl, okay, whatever.
You easy.
So, listen, they out in the back seat whole time. There's a killer lurking around, and then he jumps on top of the car, slices his way through the fabric. Because remember, I told y'all they was in a convertible, and it's like one of those soft top ones. Then homeboy, he's like, okay, well, let's drive off. Tries to drive off. The killer reaches inside, yanks him out, and just lays him on the hood of the car and just starts stabbing him. And I'm like, oh wow, first of all, why'd the car stop rolling?
That's a question.
Yeah, I was just like, I was trying to figure out, like, do cars not do that? Like, if I'm not sitting in a car, but it's in drive, is it not gonna roll?
It depends. Like, I've had my car, I put it in drive one time, and I'm guessing because I used up all the gas. And you know how like if you don't reaccelerate, your car won't move?
Yeah. Okay.
So it might be like one of those situations where because he didn't push on the gas enough or at all, it just stopped because they were on level ground, maybe.
And I was about to say, yeah, they were in like a grassy area. So, okay, I will buy that. All right. So as Lanier College is nearing, and also, yeah, the girl gets killed too, but y'all knew this. So as Lanier College is, nearing the end of finals week, we meet Courtney sitting at top of the tower as she gets up with Mark, who is just stressed out about not passing his test and getting his car taken away because white cis male problems. And then here's Radish, who's spilling the tea about previous murders over at March College, until Wild Man comes along just living his name out. And I'm like, we're going to talk about Wild Man a little bit later, because I got some things to say, because not us having a twin moment.
My God.
Radish is adorable, though.
He is. He's my favorite character.
Like his little cadence and the way he talks and how he gets excited about what he's talking about. It's very adorable. I agree. He's my favorite too. As the students prepare for their tests, and peep how they're spread out so they can't cheat. If you weren't here last week, I had a really big issue with the movie last week because those students were too close to be taking an exam, and I know they was cheating. But anyway, can we also talk about the professor?
He was okay. I mean, he was a little funny, but he was okay.
It was a few things for me. When he sat there and told him if they cheat on the test, he got a sniper outside on call.
And then guess what happens?
Right. Okay. But then I was just like, because, it's some teachers that do play with you like that, but I don't know if like saying that necessarily, but like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it do be teachers that really just be goofballing. Like, everybody knew he was playing. But some people was like, I don't like that he said that to them. Excuse me.
So I like teachers who was playful like that.
Yeah, like I low-key didn't have a problem with it because like I said, I knew he was playing. What I did have a problem with was him leaving the class during the exam. I hated when my professors did that.
Why?
For some reason, it just felt like a setup. I'm like, okay, I know usually like they probably in their office because it's the end of the year. Like they trying to get students together, their affairs together, all that stuff. But no, homie, you need to sit right here with me. I don't know. Because this TA, I don't know him.
I guess.
I don't know. For some reason, it just bothers me when the teacher, it just feels like, I don't know. I think it's an anxiety thing. Like whenever the teacher would leave the room when we have finals, I was just like, I feel like I am all alone in this.
I loved it when they left.
No,
for reasons. I don't need you there. You can leave. So I can
do that while you're there. Trust me.
I can do it while you're there too, but it's easier when you leave.
It is. You do have a point. As the TAs moderate, Dr. Reynolds steps out and sees Lisa, Courtney's roommate, and stops her for a visit in his office. And if you guessed he was screwing one of his students, give yourself a little twerk. You're right. And if you guessed that he was married, give yourself another little twerk. First off, let me pause right now. Let me tell you something about this little heifer. When she started talking about his wife and was like, that little saggy old wife, well, she must be almost 30. 30? Girl, what? Now, we're not 30 yet. We have some time. But I'm just like...
Listen, my dad already calling me 30. And I'm like, sir.
I have years. Multiple, like, but the thing is, I'm just like, girl... And okay, some people say, well, when you're 19, and I'm not going to stunt because at 19, 30 probably does seem different. But it's just like in A Nightmare on Elm Street, when Nancy looks in the mirror, she was like, oh gosh, I look 20 years old. I said, bitch. And I mean, I had seen A Nightmare on Elm Street before I turned 20. But when I was over the age of 20 and I seen it, every time she says that part, I'm just like, but also we're Black, so we don't have that issue either. White 30 is different from a Black 30. No shade, no tea. All you got to do is just stay unproblematic and manage business. I'm telling y'all.
All shade, all tea. I just want to say, I thought that Lisa was a teacher at first.
See, proving my point.
I thought she was
talking about his wife.
Because she like came up, had looking all like prim, proper, professional, had heels on, hair flowing in the wind. I was like, oh, she's a teacher. And then she was talking about, come up in my studio later. I'm like, oh, I thought she was a teacher.
Right. You're right. We learn about her character that she is an out-of-towner, like she doesn't belong here, because she does look different from the rest of the students. I am glad you brought that up, because when you look at the rest of the students, everybody's just wearing like, jeans, t-shirts, button up. Meanwhile, she's like glamor down.
Because she's from the city. She's a city girl. And she said all these North Carolina country bumpkins. I'm sorry. I'm joking. Not all of y'all are country bumpkins. I would like to move to Charlotte. But yeah, she was like, I want to go back to the city. To where I belong.
Go to a restaurant, listen to some live music, like
Go to the cinema.
Right. During all of this, a van is stalking the campus, and literally in a moment, multiple masked assailants jump out and just start airing the whole campus out.
And I got excited. I was like, oh!
You got excited.
I got excited.
I'm not laughing at what happened in the movie. I swear, y'all, I did not expect Jonne to react like this. I thought Jonne was about to like go in on that.
No, I got excited because I was like, oh, this movie's starting with a bang. They just come out this joint blazing.
And then it's crazy because, okay, so when I first saw it, my mouth was on the floor because I'm thinking it's the killer. I'm not expecting this to happen, and it happened.
I thought it was the killer too, but then I'm like, dang, they got multiple killers out this joint. I got excited.
Yes, and then like, because it's so early in the movie, I said, well, where is this going? Like, what is happening? What's going on?
And I was ready to go along for the ride. I was ready. I was like, oh, because I thought it was going to start off slow. And then it got right into it. And I was like, oh, snap.
Because it's kind of taped how they do like true crime shows where it's slowed down, but it's sped up at the same time, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like really weird. It really feels like if you were really in the middle of the chaos. But as the shooting continues, A few of the masked assailants start grabbing some of the slain students and just throwing their bodies into the van and skirts off. And
I
come to
thought that
find
was
out,
wild too. I was like, why are they still in the? I was ready to go along for the story. I'm like, okay, you shot them. Why are you taking them hostage? What's about to go on here? What's the point of being a killer if you gotta get rid of evidence? I mean, evidence as far as the body that's left. You can get
I
rid of all
feel
this
you.
stuff.
I was trying to figure it out too, but they did it. And I was just like, well, I guess. And this is when we find out that this is all a prank by the Gamma Delta boys,
And I
which
was
also, listen, I was just like, okay. But it also served as a rouse for Mark to cheat on his test undetected. Because remember earlier, y'all, he was like, I don't get an 82 on this test. My parents are going to take my car away. He got a Corvette, y'all. He think Corvette. He just think he shit. And I'm just like, no, babe. You just have a nice car and that's it. Like that, first of all, can we talk about their hair? I did not like the hair in this era for them, for the men.
Yeah, because the sheriff's hair, when he pops up, I talk about that later. But oof, so Radish's hair didn't look bad. Radish's hair reminded me of a pullover from the 70s, like because wasn't the Brady Bunch in the 70s?
I think so.
It was giving me the boys from the Brady Bunch with the curly hair, except for Greg.
Yeah, no, Radish's hair was cute.
Yeah, Radish was cute.
I'm talking really, it was just Mark's hair. Wild Man's hair, it just looked like it needed to be washed.
He needed to wash, period.
Oh girl, we are going to get to him because I'm just
yes.
Ooh, child. However, there really is another van stalking the campus though. The girl that tries to tell Courtney and Lisa like what just happened, but Courtney and Lisa are like laughing the whole time because they know it's a prank. I felt so bad for her. She was like, why are y'all laughing? People just got shot up. They was like, you ain't see that Gamma Delta sticker?
I felt bad for Radish too, because Radish was so panicked. He really called the sheriff. Poor thing.
And he was ready. He trained to go. Okay.
Because
he knew exactly what to do.
This is why I was mad, because who thinks of a prank like that? That's actually like really traumatizing. Yes. That's why I thought it was real, and I was excited because it was real. Because that's a wild turn of events. So you final exams, the whole campus gets shot up. That's a little crazy. But no, it's a prank. And then I got mad.
Even later, because they bring it up even later in the cafe when Janet and Gary's a little pledge, but Janet points out that they're always doing something, the Gamma Delta boys, and they're usually on probation, but if they was black, they would have been suspended indefinitely.
Bruh, they would have been suspended indefinitely. Somebody probably would got arrested.
Yes, like it just would have been OVA. They would have pulled all of the whole Divine Nine for one.
Because I think that alphas at my school are still not back yet over some dumb shit. Anyways, they hold black organizations to a totally different standard than they do other organizations, and
it needs to stop. It needs to stop. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, Mark pulls Gary to the side and they start, and then first of all, Mark gonna start hyping Gary up because Gary, like I said, y'all, he a pledge, and y'all already know how that is. Y'all trying to be down, whatever. And Mark he's hyping him up, a tool, because he starts hyping him up on his status as a pledge, telling him that Gary is the chosen one to perform the quote unquote solemn duty, which ends up just being Gary stealing a test for the other boys to study. What?
The priorities of these people.
Right. Okay, so he and Wild Man, they jump in his little Corvette. Corvette. I missed that part of quarantine.
I'm doing TikToks.
I mean, no, I still be on TikTok, but like the beach. Corvette. You know how sometimes like some different moments in the year you kind of like associated with a song, like 2016, the summer, everybody be like Drake Controller.
Oh yeah.
Or just Drake in general, like how like all of that 2016. You know what I'm saying? So like for quarantine, like or like the baby come give me something, elbow, shimmy, clap. Like that was a phase of quarantine for me. That was like the very top of quarantine, like March.
Girl, I didn't have TikTok, and when I did get it, I only kept it for a month, and then now I have it again. So I missed all of that. So
when I say TikTok put a hold on me at the top. Because, okay, we already was starting to have to use it for first ladies. So I had got on it, like, I think, like, I don't know when I got on it. I had an account, but I wasn't doing anything. But they had me doing stuff on the first ladies account. And then I just started scrolling and it was cool. I'm like, oh, this is a baby Vine. And then as soon as quarantine hit, it was over. The hold that TikTok had on me and still low-key does, because, man.
I've been sucked into conspiracy theory TikTok. So
I be on all different sides of TikTok. I be on cleaning TikTok. I be on messy TikTok. I be on black TikTok. First of all, white violence TikTok is funny as hell. If y'all have never...
I ended up in jail TikTok and I was confused.
Oh my God. Look, jail TikTok is something else. Okay.
So confused.
Zodiac talk is something else. Horror talk is definitely something else. You know what? Oh, Jesus. Talk about that later, because y'all really something else. Y'all some gatekeepers. Like, y'all be talking about me and I be playing. Go get on TikTok and go try to say something and just watch how you just get attacked. Okay? Anyway,
not
just all different listen, okay? And I'm like, first of all, let me tell y'all something. Y'all will never bully a millennial. We created cyberbullying. You cannot sun us. I'm just gonna leave that there. Okay.
Now we created cyberbullying.
We did we not? Like, you, like,
oh
baby.
Man, I've been the victim of cyberbullying and I've also cyberbullied other people. So
like, you cannot.
Middle school was a time,
okay? Like, people used to legit code their MySpace pages to fight people.
Not code to fight people.
Like, literally changing your MySpace layout to changing my song to Run Up, Get Done Up, changing my background, like, to the Brass Knuckles, Talk Shit, Get Hit. Like, girl, it was a
like, oh my God.
What was the problem?
My
mama needed to hug me more. That's what that was. No, I'm just playing. I'm kidding, guys. I'm being dramatic. But y'all know them brass knuckles, them pink brass knuckles with the Talk Shit, Get Hit. I have a glass. Somebody bought me a glass that says that for my birthday, because Jesus, I was rough. I am delivered.
Oh my God.
You know what? Poor Janet, she hate the frat already. She don't know what she want to do. Janet is a funny character. I liked her character too.
Can't nobody talk Radish in my heart.
No, nobody talks Radish. But I think it's because, okay, in this movie, and I'll talk about it now, it's fine. This movie, Jimmy really wanted to focus more on the dialogue, and that's very evident because, as Jonne stated, like, this movie is very slow. Like, it's slow. And it's like, it's a plus side and a downside to it. Like, they should have thrown a kill, like, somewhere in here, but you do kind of get to know everybody.
I would have liked it, like you said, if they threw a kill in every now and then, like, you getting to know people, random body, somebody find it later. Like, that would have been more fun.
Yeah. Like, it didn't even have to be somebody that we knew. Like you said, it really just could have been a random body or something like that. But
the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
That's my motto. Kill them all, you know. So the police or the sheriff finally arrive on campus, and I'm sitting here wondering, like, where the fuck is campus police? Y'all don't have campus police? Like, that's not a thing? But hold your breath. Then he has the nerve to be a butthole. Now we better find a multiple shooting. I'm like, boy, what? Oh my gosh. So Radish comes to tell him that they were victims of a prank. But then Radish ends up getting chewed out by the sheriff, and it's like not even his fault. I'm like, you need to chill off, Radish, first of all.
Right. He was traumatized
and did what he was supposed to do. Okay. So then the police was more concerned about missing his supper time than the safety of the community. I need you to turn in your badge, sir.
I'm pretty sure he felt something. I know he probably felt bad when he had to come to school and clean up all them bodies the next day.
Exactly. Trust me, because that unseasoned food wasn't even worth it. I know it wasn't. Okay, I'm gonna quit. No, I'm not. Anyway, as as Radish is adorably explaining the situation to the ungrateful sheriff, Mark and Wildman pull up right on time to hear Radish identifying the van and handing over the license plates number, which of course the van belongs to Wildman's daddy. Why would you use your van?
Because think about it. His name is Wildman. Do you really
Yes.
think a person with that name has any brain cells?
No, not El Wild though. No, not at all. I'm about to call him that for the rest of the movie. The coach comes along, putting Quentin, the sheriff, I just like that his name was Quentin, that's my cousin name, in his place, basically calling him out. He like, dude, you need to chill. You was doing the same stuff when you was in college. You set a whole library on fire. Like, chill. I was like, dang, like y'all.
Not a
See, this is what I'm
library.
talking. Exactly. Now let this have been us. Shut down. Like, y'all see what y'all see
Jail.
this, right? Y'all see this, right?
Jail!
Like they just okay, you know what? We're not gonna jump into it. Y'all see this. Y'all see what it is. Why did the sheriff feel like he needed to put his hands on Wildman and then get like the whole bit where he gives him the dime for like a future phone call? Like, let that ego go, please. Like, you're not even doing what you think you're doing right now. Okay.
And go get a proper haircut.
That too. Then remember when I said y'all don't got campus security? Why Mitch come out the woodwork? He's apparently the security guard. I'm like, where was you at?
In on it.
Like he for real came out the woodwork behind a tree, y'all. Just came out of nowhere. I was just like, okay.
Because he was in on it.
Had to be. Oh yeah, he was. You're right. He did know about the prank. Still, you could have played your part. I don't know. You could have did something. The next scene, we get a full on booty shot, y'all. Do y'all remember that movie Nacho Libre? Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
And you remember how he used to squeeze his booty cheeks?
I don't remember that.
He'd be like, I am Nacho Libre. And like, and he like squeezes booty cheeks. I used to do that to make my friend laugh, but it made me, because the killer like steps into the frame, but all you see is his butt.
Oh my gosh.
It's like literally all you see is just his butt. But then we get a little Halloween homage or a ripoff, depending on how you want to look
Rip
at
off!
it. When Courtney is in her dorm room studying, and the killer walks down the path, blending right into a tree, like just seamlessly. I liked it. I thought it was cute, but we see how Jonne feels. Elisa comes in pointing out that there's literally no use in studying, girl, because after this, nobody is going to care about your grades. And you just need to know how to get what you want, like for real. And sis, when I say I felt that with every inch of my being, I was like, you know what? Because nobody really does care about my goddamn grades.
They care about mine. I'm so
Yeah, I'm like, you.
I am so annoyed because I have to keep paying I know $8 is not a lot of money, but it's annoying to have to keep paying $8 to submit your transcripts to these employers for every new job that you apply to.
No, that's annoying. That is annoying. You shouldn't have.
Because they don't even like accept unofficial. They're like, we want your official transcript. And I'm like, for what?
Because I'm pretty sure somebody in there just because they somebody grandson.
Exactly.
Right. That's why I'm like, just cut the crap. Just please cut the crap.
And I don't know if it's because you care about my grades or it's because you just care about the classes that I took. So I can understand if you just cared about the classes to make sure that, you know, what I took is up to par for industry standard. Right. But $8, I can just send you my curriculum.
Okay, for that.
Right. Continue. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Lisa then puts her theory to the test when some boys come past and she gets them to carry her bags with no problem. That whole, when she turns to Courtney, it's like, see how easy it is? It's 80 yards so bad. I'm like,
if I was the man, I would have been like, see how easy what is?
Right. And that's why I'm like, it's 8, because I know she couldn't have said that to her. If she did, it should have been more like a whisper. But the
Right.
way they ADR'd or dubbed it, whichever one you want to go with, is very bad. And you can tell that they ADR'd it. But Courtney goes to visit Radish for some aspirin and some advice after Lisa's words and ways has kind of fed into some insecurities and resentment. Radish points out that, Lisa might seem to have it going on or whatever, but Courtney, you do too, girl, in your own way. Like, Radish got a crush on Courtney, y'all, if y'all
He
couldn't
does. And
tell.
it's so cute.
It is cute. Like, I'm here for it. But Courtney goes back to her room, not seeing the killer. Like, the killer is, like, in the cut. Like, we see him through a mirror. Like, he's on some stairs. But, then when you come back, he's not there. Once again, on his Michael Myers stuff. Lisa meets up with Courtney back in the room and then is questioned if anybody had been in the room because earlier when Courtney left, she was reading a book and it ain't there no more. But literally seconds later, they find the book on top of Lisa's closet door and it almost clocked her in the head. And she was really upset. She was like, why would you do this? I'm like, you really think I will wait till finals to do this? Girl, if I wanted to do it, I would have been did it.
Listen.
And it ain't nothing towards Lisa. I don't have a problem with Lisa, but I'm just saying, if I'm going to do something to my roommate, it's going to happen like mid-semester. Just saying. Miss Janet comes in. She got some more tea. She can't ever. I would never tell her a secret. Never.
She came in too excited to spill this man's secrets.
Too excited. So basically, y'all, what has happened is she got pinned by Gary. And basically what this means is he appointed her to be the one to save him from being treed. Now, if you don't know what getting treed is, we'll talk about that in literally a hot second. But I don't know what this whole pinning situation is. Like, do y'all really do that? Like, is that a thing for y'all? I was trying to look that up, but I really didn't get far.
I think that's
research.
like a white sorority thing because I've seen other movies where like you wear their frat jackets and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, so what is the actual thing? Like, is it a pin? Is it a jacket? Or is this something that like, because
I think it's
on the
more
flip
or less
side,
like, oh, I stole my boyfriend fraternity sweatshirt when I did. I stole it. I sleep with it. It's not like I wear it. I just sleep with it. Because my boyfriend is currently deployed. He's in Kuwait. And when I left the house after dropping him off for his orders, I was in the house cleaning his house, and he's really small, and I can't fit any of his clothes. Typical girlfriend thing. You steal hoodies, you steal things. Well, I couldn't fit anything, and I had just did his laundry, and I was like, "Oh, I want to take this," so I just took it. So it's here. It's in my bed. I sleep with it. I cuddle with it when I'm missing him. So it's not like I wear it.
You're not wearing it. Yeah, I'm like, you're not wearing it.
Yeah. And he knows. I sent him a picture and I'm like, look, I took this.
No, that's like, different.
Okay, cool.
That's different. Like, you're not like out here wearing it.
Yeah, no, I just sleep with it.
Yeah. No. They like be walking on campus and they like jackets and can scream too. When Sydney had her boyfriend's necklace and they was like, you can't be wearing his necklace. You're not supposed to be giving out your letters and da-da-da-da-da.
It's kind of like when dudes be giving their football jackets and stuff. That's the same type of thing that it's same parallel to me.
Kind of.
It's like, in this case, you're making it official.
Bit. Yeah, right.
You're stamping the relationship.
Right. Wellman and Mark bust into Radish's room, trying to threaten him over telling on them earlier, but that was y'all fault. Y'all shouldn't have been doing stupid stuff. But again, this is another ruse for Mark to steal the keys to the coach's office for drugs, as Radish is in charge of, equipment. He be taking inventory and stuff. Y'all know how that is. So Gary reluctantly tiptoes through the halls and successfully steals the test for the frat. But, his reward turns into payment as it's pointed out that he doesn't have his pen and now he has to be treated by his brothers. So what this means is they done went onto this yard, y'all, took this boy, stripped him down to his tidy whities, tied him up like with rope to a tree, doused him in water, shaving cream, ice cubes down his underwear. And I just want to point out, like, he's not having kids. Like, being in ice that long can really do damage.
I just want to point out that he actually really did have ice poured down his underwear during filming.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can see if they did it for the shot, and then I would hope for the rest of the scenes that they like switched it out and like used something else just to make it look like baggy or something. I hope they ain't had that boy sitting in no wet undies like that, because no. But
I don't know, because when he finally got off the tree, he was shaking ice out of his drawers.
yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm hoping like it was just like cold and wet and not like he was really sitting in like that patch of ice like that long. That's what I'm hoping for him. But it's an athlete like in real life, like recently, I can't recall his name, but some athlete literally just messed up his ankle because he fell asleep with an ice pack on. So now he got permanent nerve damage.
Damn.
Ain't that crazy? That's why I'm like, y'all can't be doing that stuff. Like, I understand hazing and stuff, but y'all need to like do a check or something to make sure y'all not really hurting people, because that's crazy. So then, first of all, let's rewind.
Yeah, because I want to talk about how Wildman was a little bit too touchy-feely for me when
Thank
Gary
you.
told
I did too. Why was you all up on him? Like, he was literally revving his junk on him. And I mean,
blowing in his ear, like, did you see how he was all up on his neck? Like,
yes.
it was a little bit.
And
too
I'm like,
much for me.
if you like him, that's different. But I know for a fact that Wildman is a cis hetero male. Like, I know that for a fact. And why are you all up on him? And I know you stink. I know you do.
Like, he was doing a little. It was very uncomfortable.
You know who Wildman and Mark remind me of, and it didn't hit me till I rewatched the movie. You remember Bradley Uppercrust and Tank from an Extremely Goofy movie?
Oh my gosh.
They literally, and it was like Mark's haircut with a little sweater literally was giving me Bradley Uppercrust. And if I'm not mistaken, they were the Gammas too. If I'm not mistaken, I ain't seen that movie in a hot minute, but it's kind of hard to forget because I mean, it's goofy. But as night falls on Lanier College, Gary, poor Gary, he is still tied to this tree, freezing, waiting on Janet because some girl went to go get her, but it was daytime. And like I said, it is nighttime now, and he's just waiting on her to come back. Hours later, the girl finally finds her. She's sitting up in Courtney's room. And this is after she done confessed to Courtney, talking about, well, I don't even know if I like Gary the way I think I like him. Like, they're making this such a big deal. Da, 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 da. Whole time, this dude is depending on you, like waiting on you to come get him. Girl, you are something else. Okay.
And we also mentioned the fact that homegirl coming down the hall to tell her that he was tied to the tree. She put out a wedgie.
Yes, I wrote that in my notes. I was like, she just picked it out. She was like, has anybody seen Janet McCready? Pick. I said, oh, you know what? But I can't, it's like, I'm not even mad at it because I know people do that. Yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of the, yeah, like for this movie to be what it was, I have to be honest and say the acting for real was not bad. Cause I'm like, I really just felt like I watched some kids like really get ready to go home from a final and they just got fucked up. Like, in my opinion. But also this next scene, and I've been waiting to do this because I'm about to get in Nate. But okay, y'all, big pause. We go to the Gamma, I don't know if it's the Gamma House or the Gamma Quad, whatever it is. Why, and I did not notice this the first time I watched it, why is there a huge Confederate flag hanging on somebody's door?
They in North Carolina, girl.
And then it's a little blackface statue, and I was trying to like find it so I could see like what it meant, and I didn't have any luck at the moment of recording. If I do, I'll like, I don't know, do something. But what was all of that about? I was just like, see, this how I know y'all ain't ish, y'all ain't gonna be ish, and that's just what it is. And I don't ever want to live with Wildman. His room is disgusting. Like, I know it smells like toe jam, Cheetos, and feet. I really want to know, do it be girls going for him? Because no, child, that's the sacrifice for him. No.
He sprayed deodorant in his mouth.
First of no, Jonne, tell the truth. This dude took off his shirt, wiped his mouth with it, threw it back in his clothes, pulled out another shirt, still had shaving cream or whatever on his stomach, put the shirt on, sprayed the deodorant on the shirt, not on his pits, on his shirt, then took the same deodorant and sprayed it in his mouth, took some alcohol and then like gargled it. How
That
do you
whole
still
scene was so cringy.
and like
So cringy.
and had it spilling out of his mouth and stuff? Like it was just I would not ever want to room with him. I would not want his room anywhere near my room. And then
I
it
wouldn't
was a
want him
girl in
near me,
there
period.
because it was definitely a bra hanging like right outside his door. Well, she didn't have to be in his room. I don't know, but I'm just like, girl, you don't love yourself. Like any of y'all that's going for wild men, like for in real life, going for wild men, like no, girl, get
You
up.
don't love yourself, and I pray for your pH balance.
Listen, because I know. Ew. Okay, no, I don't want to think about that. That's fucking disgusting because I know.
Because if you ain't taking care of just your deodorant, like putting a deodorant on your skin, actually washing, actually putting mouthwash and toothbrush and toothpaste in your mouth versus just spraying deodorant. You spray deodorant in your mouth. What in if you not even doing the basic stuff for your regular hygiene, I know you ain't cleaning in the crevices.
I know you're not. Like them nuts is not no. Mm-mm. It will not be me. Gary is still suffering, tied to this tree, until Mitch comes along and spooks him and refuses to untie him because, like Jonne said earlier, he in on it, and he can't mess with no tradition. But he is very petty for pouring that alcohol down his little tighties. You did not have to do that. You could have. I don't know what you could have did, but not that.
He said, you need something to drink to go with that ice. Nasties.
All of a sudden, Gary is untied from the tree, literally as soon as he can get a sigh of relief in and expecting Janet to walk around the corner. He's ambushed by the killer and stabbed to death right there on the quad, like right there.
Damn.
First of all, this killer is on some other shit. Because how the fuck did you cut them ropes, climb up that tree, and just Spider-Man this little boy like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you just imagine, like, he cut the rope, climbed up the tree, got through the branches, and just said, "Nyah," like spider monkey style. Like, how? Like, what's happening? But here comes Janet. She playing around. She thinking she about to come rescue her man. But Gary's not even there, honey. He is gone. She sees a dark figure off in the distance, thinking it's him. Girl, I would have went the other way. I would have went back to my room. He can come see me later, okay?
First of all, they wasn't even both the same. So if you thought that was
Exactly.
him,
Exactly. Now, okay, I know some of y'all like, well, Ashley, last week when you told us the story, listen, they had on different clothes. He was like he was doing things like I didn't know it was him. I really did not know that was him. Like I was shook. Okay, I thought I was about to die. This is different. She's going towards the danger. Okay, she literally goes where she sees the figure, and then she gets spooked a little bit. First of all, she's finding Gary's clothes like in like little bits and pieces all sprout out on the path up there. I'm like, what you think he about to just be naked waiting for you to dick you down outside? Like no. We plan stuff like that. Like that's not spontaneous behavior. Okay.
I don't know. It might have been for them. Listen.
You're right. You are right. But Janet gets spooked, and while she's running away, the murderer grabs her, pulling her into the shadows. Now, let me tell you something. Remember when I was telling y'all about like all these like stunts and stuff gone wrong? Here goes an example. The actress that played Janet really got her head smashed into the wall, and it's on film. You see her head like connect with the wall because, like I said, the stunt coordinator, which was the killer, didn't know what he was doing. He thought he did, but people was getting hurt. Like that's just the beginning. I have more. Okay. So meanwhile, Wildman is doing the most. He's searching the campus gym for some pills. So what happened was when we was going in on him and his bad hygiene, Mark had got a call. So basically what the Gammas be doing, they be selling drugs. Like they be getting drugs, like stealing them and then reselling them. That's what they be doing. Y'all know how these boys be doing. That's what they be doing. In the meantime, while he's looking for the pills, he's purposely like destroying the office to make it look like somebody ran through there. But I'm like, I don't understand why y'all did all that. Y'all just could have found the pills and just left. Like, y'all did the most trying to like mess it up and make it look like a stage robbery. Like, that was doing a lot.
Again, no brain cells.
At all, none. But before he can leave off with his new treasure, Noe sets him off to like, somebody else being there. He goes over to the lights, flicking them on to reveal the killer in the center of the court. And I really like this shot, especially because the Jumbotron is at the top and then the timer starts going with the music. I said, oh, damn. So in the next, y'all, the timer starts. It's 2 minutes on the clock. The next 2 minutes, well, first of all, Wild Man decides that he's just going to run towards the killer. I don't know what his plan was, but they start to tussle.
See, I was okay with this. I was like, oh, this is different. He about to charge at the man. But what kind of jock are you?
Because I'm just like, okay, now I know I said when, I can't remember, we took like some quiz and I said I would run towards the killer because they wouldn't be expecting it. But I have planned this in my head. And I also think I had a weapon as well. You ain't had nothing but a handful of pills. What was you going to do?
But also, what kind of jock are you? Because he proceeds to get thrown around all crazy. I'm thinking you should at least be able to fight back in a decent manner because you're a jock. You probably be in the gym lifting, you play football, whatever you do.
Right.
But that was a piss poor performance.
He was getting his little butt kicked all over that daggone weight room. And that's where he ended up getting killed via strangulation by weights as the shot clock hits 0. And now this is another instance. Poor Wild Man really got hurt through the entire sequence of them fighting, like was getting hurt. And then lost consciousness when they were strangling him. Like he for real passed out.
Yep, because the killer really did wrap one of the wires way too tight around dude's throat to put a chokehold on him.
Once again,
I mean, he quickly saved him, but he still ended up unconscious.
Right, that's the point. He should have never been unconscious. He was already hurt. Like, oh my gosh. Radish goes to visit Courtney with some Irish whiskey, which she points out is very nasty and terrible. But this was shade that was thrown in by the writer of the movie because they was just like, I don't know why y'all making this Jack Daniels a big deal. It's like, no, that. So we just, bleh, it's not, no. Again, Radish is just so sweet when he like tells Courtney, like, make sure you lock the door, and then tells her, like, he really thinks she's like cute and like stuff. And he starts talking himself when he's walking down the hall. He's like, you're crazy, kid. I'm like, oh.
She made me mad though, because she was like, the world does not feel the psychopaths talking about. Girl, the whole world is filled with psychopaths talking about. I don't know why she was hating on Radish. He was logical.
Very, okay. Soon enough, Mark pulls up in his little Corvette to the gym to find El Waldo's dead body stuffed inside a locker. First of all, the killer is disrespectful for the way he stuffed him up in that locker. Like, just upside down, legs dangling. I said, dang. Mark sees the body. First of all, it was Mark grabbing the pills off the ground for me. Like, this is why you need to know your dealers, because they just be doing anything. And I would be so mad. These pills done been in Wild Man's sweaty hands. They done been on the gym floor. They done made it to the locker room floor. Like the killer probably put them in his hands at some point. Like they done been in everybody's hands. Like this is a lot. And no, it's not happening. So Mark, like, when he sees Wild Man, he leaves to go to his car, but then his Corvette lights come on and he's like, oh shit, somebody's in my car. So then he runs off to the school's electrical building, but the killer somehow got up in there and surprises Mark and stabs him from like this barrel. I'm like, how did you get in there?
I would have kept the keys in my hand. I didn't like the fact that he put the keys down after he locked himself in that building.
Right.
And I didn't feel bad that he died because he was a tool.
No, I didn't feel bad that he died. I think my thing for me, I was just trying to figure out how did this killer get in there so fast and had time to hide. Like, I'm just like, It's some supernatural
I
stuff
think because
going on.
wasn't that an exit door back there?
It might have been.
Yeah, it was an
What?
exit. It was an
Yeah.
exit door back there. So he probably came in the exit and just hid.
Yeah, it is. No, you're right, because they show it to you. They show it to you earlier. Radish arrives to the gym for, he got to do his inventory, where he discovers Mark's body and immediately calls the police. But of course, because of all the pranks that have been going on at the Gamma house, the authorities, they're not coming. Like, that's just that. The phone that was in this scene, when Radish was going to use it, it fell off the wall and just broke on the ground.
Aww.
So they had to go to a gas station and like get the phone from the gas station and bring it back and hang it up and use that one and then take it back.
That's stealing gas station phone.
So deciding to warn Courtney, Radish literally runs across the campus to Courtney's dorm and straight into like the killer. And he's knocking on the door trying to get Courtney's attention. And then the killer just literally reaches his arm through the door and pulls Radish's head through the door. And I'm just like, you did not have to do that to him.
My heart broke.
Like, I was very mad. Like, I don't know. Like, if Radish had to die, I don't know what I would have preferred, but not that. Like, you did not have to do that to him.
I would rather have been a final boy instead of a final girl.
That could have worked too. Returning back to her dorm after a little Pepsi break, Courtney is thinking like, Radish is hanging out her door. She thinking he playing like, like smile Radish. Like, first of all, that broke my heart. When she was like, come on, smile. I said, oh my gosh, wow. And then like, she's like, okay, this is like real. But first of all, why did Radish's body like swing towards her? I'm thinking the killer was up in there. I don't know why that happened. It just did. But you in danger, girl. No, I don't think so. Because remember, she runs, but she like lingers in that hall for like a long time. I was trying to figure out like what made his body do that.
But I thought that the killer had pushed her towards her.
I did too. But remember, when she goes and yells for help, she literally knocks on all 3 doors that's in the vicinity. And I'm like, if the killer was there, I feel like she would have ran out. But I mean, I don't know. You do crazy
things.
Well,
because that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel like she would have ran out, because you saw she just kept running around saying help, 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 even though he was after her when later on basically after this. But like, I think that's why she was saying help, because the dude swung the door towards her.
Yeah, could have been. I literally don't know. I'm like, I just would have been out of the building. I'm not knocking on doors. I'm just screaming.
That's what made me mad, because I don't understand why she knocked on. I'm like, if the killer is coming, why are you knocking on all the doors?
Right. And that's what I didn't understand. Think that he wasn't there.
No, because she made questionable choices, because I don't know why she went in the building instead of just calling the police because everybody's dead. She went screaming for Lisa and the dude that she fucking. The professor.
I guess because she thought like they would be there. I don't know what she thought they would do, but I guess she just thought like, if I just find people, like something will happen. Whole time, Lisa been in the conservatory. She been having a time. She done practiced her little piano, and now she's in her little art studio. She done stripped down in the nude, waiting for Dr. Reynolds to come. Whole time, the freaking killer finds her, comes in the room, and they kind of like, if you've seen Halloween 2 and Karen, the part, I think it's Karen, when she's like in a hot tub, y'all know, like she be kissing Michael's hands, his little nasty hands. It's kind of like that before Lisa gets stabbed to death. And I'm just like, dang.
Rip off.
You was waiting to get digged down and you got stabbed down. That's kind of messed up.
I give you form, texture, girl.
After finding Mitch passed the hell out in his car, Courtney has now made her way to the conservatory, and she starts hearing like the piano playing, and she like, I bet they up in here. Girl, she opened that door. She reacted so fast, and I just want to thank her for getting the fuck. Like, he was right there, standing there, ready to go. And she said, oh, and closed that door hella quick and ran for that calf. I said, I know that's right, sis, because no, I don't even think I would have went towards the music because I'm like, I've been in this building yelling for y'all this whole time, and now you want to play a piano. I don't think I'm going that way.
I wouldn't have either. I would
I
have been like,
seen Hill House LLC. I'm not, no. When she gets into the kitchen, she grabs a knife and tries to call for the police again. No luck. Then, okay, I have something to say about this scene, but I'm going to get through it first. Using the automatic food chute, the killer comes down and meets Courtney in the kitchen. And she manages to like lock him in one of these kitchen storage rooms, but she forgets, like, just like how the dorm rooms, they have two doors and they're connected. The little kitchen thing she locks him in is the same way. And
I got questions about that, but continue.
Since she didn't lock the other door, he gets out and then the chase continues through the school. And it kind of gave me Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes. I can't remember which one it is, but in one of them, Leatherface is looking for the girl and she's like, she literally does the same thing that Courtney does in this movie by like hiding somewhere else. You know, I'm not gonna spoil it too much, but if you know, you know. And then this is what I wanted to say about this scene. And once again, it was something I didn't peep until my rewatch. Earlier, when they're in the calf and Gary wants to tell like Janet the secret and everybody goes and leaves and Courtney goes to take her tray to like the little food conveyor belt. And they show the food going down the belt into the worker and we see it. And, you know, I'm like, the first time I seen it, I'm like, why is they showing us this? Like, this ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But whole time they showing us this to like, let us know this is where the final showdown is going to be. Cause you even see one of the workers go into the storage thing and come out another door. And I'm like, dang, I didn't even peep that like the first time I watched it until now. And I don't know if it's considered like a split diopter shot because the thing is and this is Gene Poole, by the way, haha. Or actually, I don't know. I think Gene Poole was the dude taking the test, but I like his name. The kitchen staff, one of them is like in the foreground shot, like you're looking at him, but you see the conveyor belt bringing the food down in the background and you really don't pay attention to it, but it is kind of eerie. So when the killer comes down the conveyor belt later on in the movie, I was like, oh damn, that's why they did that. Okay, I kind of like that.
I don't understand. Since when did walk-ins are connected? Since when were walk-ins connected like that? I have never seen like a walk-in fridge type thing connected like that.
I didn't know they did that either.
Exactly. So I was confused when he bust out the other side.
Yeah. I mean, movies got a movie. So maybe how I was saying, you know how I said I never seen that tall of a pot from Sleepaway Camp, but they exist. It might be a thing here too. But I was like, well, just because I haven't seen one don't mean they don't exist. So I was like, well, maybe they had them like this then. And now we don't have them anymore. Maybe something happened and they like, yeah, no, we can't do this no more.
That's true. And I also thought she dropped her weapon the whole time. She actually stabbed him, but that scene was left out because it didn't edit well.
Yeah. And they like, the thing about it is the knife is still like in his body.
Right.
Like during the whole thing. I was like,
because I thought she lost her weapon. I was like, good job. You dropped your weapon. What the fuck? But no, she actually stabbed him. But then also the scene where he jumped out the freezer, they had to keep being retaken because the crew started screaming because he would burst through the freezer so suddenly that it actually startled the crew.
This is what happens when you work with inexperienced people. It's just what happens. Outside in the quad, Courtney wanders, like, just is frantic, just running everywhere, trying to figure out what the F to do. But she ends up going to the campus tower. And of course, the killer is right on her path. Inside, they literally get all the way dang near to the top. When Coach and Mitch arrive, they was like going on a little shooting date. They was like doing something. And they hear Courtney screaming from the top of the tower.
Mitch was still MIA. We don't know where Mitch was.
Oh, he wasn't in the car with him?
He got out the car yelling for Mitch. Because remember, back when the sheriff first came, he was like, I don't want to shoot with no drunk.
I thought they went together. I thought that's why Mitch was sitting in the car.
He was asleep in the car, but what happens when he rolls up to campus, he was calling out for Mitch to be like, come on, let's go. It's time for us to go shooting.
So when Coach comes in, he's armed with a bow, literally shoots the killer with the arrow, but the killer can ate the shot, grabbing the arrow out of thin air. And this was first take, first try, because like I said, this dude is trained to go, and he ate
actually
that shot on the
suggested
first
it.
try. So then he goes towards first of all, Coach, I don't know what your plan was again. Like, and this is why Wild Man learned this from you. What were you about to do when you charged towards the killer? What was your plan? What was your angle? Like, you literally had no plan. But you know what? Poor preparation makes for poor performance. And the killer stabs Coach right there with his own arrow and sends him tumbling down the stairs. And now alone, Courtney and the killer tussle about the tower. And armed with a block of wood, Courtney just goes in, swinging that wood until the killer drops 6 stories to the bottom floor. Now, if y'all remember earlier, when Courtney and Janet were back in Courtney's dorm, Janet had asked Courtney, like, you know, why you ain't pledged? And Courtney basically, you know how there are some people that just be like, this ain't for me. I heard this, whoop-de-whoop. Courtney mentions that there was a girl that pledged, and since she didn't make it, she jumped from the top of the tower and obviously didn't make it. And I have 2 things about this. Some people say that you can take it 2 ways. Some people be like, they did that to establish that there was a tower, even though we've seen this tower all through this movie. We started the movie in the tower, and that basically was telling us, like, low-key what was going to happen at the end. Then there are some people who actually believe that this is the killer's motive, that he came back because somehow either he could be like the dad, the brother, the uncle, something of the girl that jumped off the tower. However, I don't buy that, because you're not killing anybody that was in a sorority. You're just killing random students. So that doesn't work. So I will come back to that. But
my theory was she was going to jump herself.
I'm glad she didn't, because that would have been like very, very dark. But also, I wonder if you guys were wondering if there's a surprise horror story for this stunt. And there is not, because the final stunt, nerves were shot, because as I've been telling y'all, everybody was getting hurt throughout this movie. So the producer, as he was tired of everybody's ish at this point, Myron, yes, he was like, okay, I don't want the killer, and I can't think of his name right now. He was like, I don't want him to do it because everybody's getting hurt, and he's talking about he want to do the stunt himself. I just, no. So Jimmy Huston, he was like, he can do it. He's been doing all the other ones. Just let him do it. So at the very last second, Myron hired a stunt coordinator, a professional one, behind everybody's back, behind Houston's back, the studio, everybody. Nobody knew he did it. And he paid him up front and out of pocket, and nobody could really say anything. And he ended up doing a stunt, and nobody got hurt. And the studio and Jimmy was pissed. They were so mad. I'm like, y'all do know that that man probably would have killed himself. Right. And y'all just acting like, yeah, he would be fine. It'll just be a little boot. That was a far fall. Like, and I don't really know if like, you know, like, bruh. And it wasn't like y'all had wires and all of that stuff. Like, this was, anyway.
Generally, when they do falls like that, they're supposed to fall like on like a mat or something.
Yeah. It's like sometimes usually what they'll do is they'll switch them out, like have them fall from a shorter distance, and depending on what the material is. But that floor was hard as hell. So that's why I'm just like, what was y'all thinking about to make him do it? Like, just no. But too bad Radish isn't around.
Yeah, I thought he felt like on a. I would say I thought he felt on a mat, because when you first look down at him falling, it looked like it was mat material, but then once it actually got down on the floor, it was hardwood.
Right.
Let's just hope that's what it was.
Yeah. I guess no one died, so it was fine. Too bad Radish isn't around to let Courtney know that this is the part where the killer is going to try to pop up again to kill her. But when he does, she swiftly and mercilessly stabs him to death and goes outside, sits her little tail on the steps, and just boo-hoos, and girl, I feel you, because me too, because we don't even hear sirens in the background. And I'm just like, this is too much. Mitch's ass is still in this car fucking drunk. Like,
I wonder if he was drunk or if he was actually dead.
I don't think he was dead. I think he was passed out. Yeah, lucky.
And I'm still trying to figure out, you just cracked your head open, falling 6 stories, and you got energy enough to move.
Adrenaline.
Child, your skull is exposed.
I mean, what's a homegirl, Melissa Sage Miller, head was leaking and she was having a full conversation. To be fair, she was in limbo, but
that's what I was like. She was definitely dreaming, comatose state.
Yes, yes. But that was final exam. Any thoughts?
I like the ending music.
Oh wow, it's people that hate the ending. It's the same that plays at the beginning. It's people that hate it. I'm surprised you said that. I ain't have a problem.
I liked it. I let the credits roll because I thought it was cute. But 48 minutes in, and I was like, this movie is boring. 48 minutes, a whole 48 minutes before something happened. Where's the murder? Where was the murder? I was highly upset. I was mad that the shooting was a prank because I thought this was about to be super exciting. But no, 48 minutes of watching these little kids run around and cry about their boyfriend pledging.
Yeah.
But I feel like the movie would have been better if the prank was real.
I just don't know where they would have gone with that, though.
I don't know, but I was here for it. And the movie also gave me knockoff Halloween vibes when he was like just stomping around the campus in his boots and his knife.
I mean, it was.
But yeah, so I feel like that's where the director went wrong, trying to focus on the characters and less on the gore and the violence. I want all the gore and I want all the violence. He chose, those kids were boring. I didn't care about any of them except for Radish.
I'm very in between. I'm in a little group called, well, it's not little at all, but I'm in a group called Killer Flicks, and I mentioned that we were going to be talking about this movie, and I wanted to know what people felt. And a lot of things that I've heard are a lot of things that you've said, and a lot of the things that you all are saying are things that I'm pretty torn in between, because it is slow. However, I wasn't bored because I was into the dialogue, simply because a lot of movies, especially nowadays, when we get dialogue, it's either exposition or it's like they said this because this is going to come back later, even though this does happen in this movie as well. But like when she's telling the story about the girl who jumped because she ain't make the sorority, I mean, I wasn't really thinking like, oh, okay, the showdown is going to happen at the bell tower. It's only something you notice once you watch the movie already. You just noticed it the second time. But I don't know, like, for me, a lot of the characters, like Wild Man and Mark, disgusted me, but they were supposed to. Lisa, I just thought she was just like this city girl. That's exactly who she was. Janet was the cutest little airhead. I just like, this girl just be happy and just be wanting to have a good time. And of course, everybody's favorite Radish was perfect. So, as far as the characters, I'm not mad about the dialogue, but I do agree that we could have had more kills in this cookie. Some people hated that the killer doesn't have a motivation. Me personally, I love it. Like, this dude just woke up one day and for real chose violence and was just like, you know what? I'm about to go to this university and just cut these kids' life real quick. And that's scary. Like, I'm just on campus and it's just a murderer loose for no reason, just cause, like, that's scary. When you give me motive, like, it wasn't because he was trying to like avenge the sins of his mom, or like a building burned down and he was in it and he's coming back, like, like it wasn't nothing crazy like that. He was just coming here to cause hell, and it kind of left a lot to the imagination. Like, even when it ends, like, it just ends. Like, there's no solution. We don't hear no police in the back. Like, what is about to happen to Courtney? Like, is the killer still alive? I mean, she stabbed him, but I don't know. He might get up. So that's kind of where the movie left to me. Like, I like this movie. It's not one of the best, but it's not one of the worst, in my opinion, either.
I get people wanting to have like a reasoning for people killing. My mom, she likes to have a reasoning for people killing in real life. So I get how people want it in movies too. So I get it. I don't need a reason. They were just
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm like, I don't need a reason. Like, just go and do it. Like, you burnt your toast, now you mad. Okay, don't do that. I'm playing. But
listen, there's this movie called Unhinged. I think I mentioned it before, but this man got cut off in traffic and he went on a killing spree.
And that happened in real life, and that's what
If you haven't watched Unhinged, I suggest you watch it. That movie was crazy.
Too much. When it comes to rating this movie, it got a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb, a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 77% of Google users like this movie. Our rating scale, if you guys haven't caught on, we did change it. We now give tickets and we do it by 5. So like 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Jonne, what do you give Final Exam?
I gave it 30 tickets on the strength of Radish.
Oh, wow. I was not expecting this.
I did not like this movie.
I mean, no, I'm not defending the movie. I was not expecting this. For me, based on everything that I just said, like I said, the movie to me personally is cool just because it is so much ambiguity to it. If you are a slasher fan, it might frustrate you a little bit that there's not a lot of slashing, but when the slashing does happen, it's just kind of like, oh, okay. So with that being said, I am going to give Final Exam 65 tickets.
Okay. Yeah, I like the kills. It was just 48 minutes to get to the killing. 48 minutes. 48 minutes.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, okay, put it this way. When you watch Halloween, because I can argue that Halloween literally does the same thing. However, you have to realize that Halloween does it a lot better because there's tension involved. Michael Myers is literally a threat the whole entire time. Like, this movie, I will definitely admit, I'm not defending this movie at all. I wasn't always wondering if the killer was around all the time. But when you watch Halloween, you just like, you don't know where this boy be at. He be driving past convenience stores. He be in like everywhere, just everywhere he ain't supposed to be. So that's the difference between this movie and Halloween.
This is true. This is true.
You ready to head off to the souvenir shop?
Of course.
It seems you survived. Well, before you go, join us in the souvenir shop.
So in the souvenir shop, I am keeping it short and cute today because honestly, there was nothing in this movie that triggered my thought process to anything that could translate to a souvenir. So let's talk about the cover, because the cover is actually, when I was scrolling on Prime, y'all, I tell y'all this all the time, movie covers is what makes me want to watch the movie. And when you see the cover, you see Lanier College, you see the tower, you see some of the other buildings, but then you just see this big man standing in the middle, blacked out with a butcher knife. And I'm just like, well, what is he about to do with that knife, sir? What's about to happen? And that's pretty much what draws you in. You guys will see it when we post our new episode post on our IG. If you aren't following us already on D180 Podcast, and you can also follow us on our Twitter at D180 Podcast. But before I give you the rest of the spiel, are you ready for me to run these park announcements?
Announcements.
Oh, wow. I cannot believe we done made it through another month, y'all. We have one more month before our anniversary month, before we close down the park for a little while, because we have to take a break, honey. It's almost been a year that we've been running this park, and look, listen, every time we get to the end of the month, I just can't believe it, because why is 2021 going so fast? Like, where are you trying to go? What are you doing?
I need to go so my baby can come home.
Oh, my bad. You wanted to go back, but I'm like, it just slowed down a little teeny bit, like just a little something, you know? But when we come back next week, it's going to be September, and we're going to have a new theme. Our new theme is, actually, I'm still playing around with the name. And this themes mean we're going to be going shopping, y'all. All of the movies are going to deal with some type of shopping of some type of kind. Also, just because, I'll wait. Just hold your horses. But anyway, go to our IG. I already name dropped, but just in case you need it again, at D180 Podcast, where you can see our new theme for September and what movies we'll be covering. You can also follow us on our Twitter. Again, that is D180 Podcast. Also, leave us a review if you like what we're doing here, because reviews help us get to the top of the charts. I just want to say, because we've gotten a lot of new survivors in the last month and a half. Hey y'all, we really appreciate y'all riding with us and linking up every week at the park. Please make yourself known. We talk on IG and Twitter and everywhere else that you can find us. So make sure you get ready, because next week when we come back, we're going to be talking about Dawn of the Dead 2004, the remake. Yes, we're going straight into it with this new theme. So now that y'all know what to do, y'all can link up with us next week, and we will see you soon, survivors.
Bye.